Well, guys, you did read that title correctly. There is a first-gen Dodge coming to Offroad Outlaws in a future update, and we're going to be going over some information about that truck as well as recapping some other things that we talked about in previous videos that you might have missed, just to make sure you guys are fully up to speed on what is potentially coming in the next Offroad Outlaws update over the course of this video. And we're also going to be checking out a couple of my two favorite maps that you guys may have seen on some recent live streams. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, of course, we have a lot of different things to go over in this video, but we're going to go ahead and get the main one right on screen, right off the bat, and that is the first-gen Dodge. Now, Offroad Outlaws shared this in the Offroad Outlaws official Facebook group, and they really didn't say all too much. They just kind of shared it, put it out there, and that was that. Now, does this mean that it is coming immediately at the beginning of the next update? That I'm not sure. That we will have to wait and see about. However, we can see that it's got what looks like a repair pack on the back, on top of its flatbed. And the other interesting thing is we have only seen this truck in a flatbed configuration. We haven't seen it in any other configuration. However, I assume that there is going to be a standard pickup bed as well as the option of dually fenders, and I definitely think they would be sort of limiting themselves greatly if they decided not to offer a standard pickup bed as well as dually fenders for that bed, so that people could do both dually builds and single rear wheel builds. Now, also, quick shout out to this map. It's a really, really, really good race map. I believe it's called like the Big Race, I want to say, but it's a really fun map for racing your mega trucks. And also, right off the bat, try not to do what I did and beat your truck on the very first obstacle. Usually what I recommend doing is throwing it in low right off the bat and hitting it at a bit of an angle, and then you're usually good to go, and then you can put it back up into high and then rampage your way down to the mud. But anyways, back to the first gen. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to be using the first gen as a tow rig. However, I definitely would not let that limit you from making it into a mud truck or a trail truck or a mega truck or a crawler. There's all sorts of different things that you would be able to do with said first gen, but I'm really, really curious and excited to see what the community brings to the table in regards to that truck. And I think the fact that they're doing that is absolutely huge. Like, the fact that they're doing a first gen is probably one of the best decisions they could have ever made. Now, it is also worth noting that I am not completely sure whether this first gen will be in the next update or the update after that. They've been sharing a lot of information lately, and there is a possibility that some of the information could be for the upcoming update, and then some of the other information could be for the update after that. I am not 100% sure on that. However, I mean, I would love to see the first gen in the next update, but if we do end up getting information further down the line that says it's actually for the update after that, I wouldn't necessarily be too surprised, but I would love to see it in this next update. Another vehicle that's definitely worth talking about, even though it's been talked about a little bit before, is this Bronco, as well as a little bit of a look at what you'll be able to do to it and some of the other vehicles with the new design editor, which I'll dive into more later. But the design editor is going to be very, very, very interesting, and I'm sure we'll be able to do a lot of cool stuff with it. But let's just kind of have a look at this for a second and, like, just kind of dive into how cool it is that we're getting this as well, hopefully in the next update. There's so much stuff coming. I mean, the enclosed trailers, the flatbeds, like the first gen potentially, hopefully that Bronco as well. They're doing really, really, really big things with this game, and I'm incredibly happy to see them honestly being able to do all the things that the community really wants them to do with this game. And speaking of the vinyl editor, let's take a little bit of a closer look at what we are going to be getting down the line. And even though this news has kind of already been out there, this is a little bit more of a recap on what we are going to be seeing. Now, the vinyl editor, obviously, you can see there's a lot of new shapes and, you know, vinyl objects and stripes and patterns and all sorts of stuff that will allow you to create a much more unique rig for yourself. And I think this will actually also add a lot more reason almost to use SUVs, because the SUVs kind of have a little bit more surface area that you can paint, and you can get a little bit more crazy with the designs. I don't know if designs like that are necessarily everybody's thing, but for the ones that do really love designing new paint jobs, love designing wraps, and just kind of love the aspects of design in general, I think that will definitely be a feature that you'll be really excited to dive into and a feature that you'll be really excited to check out. And honestly, I'm very, very excited to see where the community goes with this. The community always goes to great lengths. No matter what game you implement a upgraded vinyl editor in, there are always painters within the community that always go to great lengths to create some insane designs and paint jobs. I mean, look at Forza, look at Need for Speed, look at any other game that has implemented a in-depth vinyl editor, and you really do get some absolutely crazy masterpiece level designs sometimes. And I think, you know, if you have an Offroad Outlaws crew, for example, a crew paint job or a crew livery, basically, or if you're designing, let's say, a trophy truck race team and you want a matching livery for your race truck as well as your hauler, your tow rig, you'll be able to do all of that stuff. And you can do that to a certain degree now, but definitely not to the level of depth and detail that we will have in the next round of updates. So I'm definitely excited to see yet again where all of this stuff goes, and I think the community is going to go absolutely nuts with all of it. I really am excited to see what the community does with all of these new features when they get their hands on them. Now, this is the point in the video where I want to ask for feedback from you guys. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments section below what you are most excited for coming to Offroad Outlaws now that we've seen all of this information and sort of compiled it into one place. This is definitely, at least for me, this is my currently most up-to-date version of everything we know up to this point about what's coming soon in Offroad Outlaws. And I would love for you guys to let me know in the comments section below, A, what you are most excited about, and B, what you would most like to see that they either haven't announced or haven't done yet or haven't listed yet, whether that be a truck or a feature or a gameplay addition, whatever that might be, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, I know for me, I would love to see the ability to put multiple vehicles on one trailer, especially with the big goosenecks, but I also know that that's kind of probably pushing the envelope a little bit with the engine that they have here to work with. Now, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I'm not sure. I don't know this engine, you know, inside and out or in depth, but I would assume that it's one of those things where if it was easy to do, they probably would have done it already. So that's kind of where my mind is on that, and I'm not holding my breath for that feature, but at the same time, it is something that I would really, really, really like to see. Now, in terms of other vehicle types, I would also really like to see a second-gen Dodge, and there have been sort of whisperings and murmurings in the community about potentially something about a second-gen Dodge coming in the future, but we haven't had any sort of confirmation on that yet, at least not to my knowledge, so I'm not going to say that, oh, that's coming, or, oh, we're gonna see this or that, because I don't know if that's an actual thing or not, or if it's something that is just wishful thinking floating around the community, but regardless, I would personally love to see one. I would also love to see the ability to turn any two-door truck into a four-door truck and basically turn anything into a quad cab. I think the ability to turn anything into a quad cab, or almost anything at least, into a quad cab would be a really, really welcome addition, because that's one of the most interesting things that we see with custom trucks is stretched frames, you know, additional doors. And yes, it wouldn't necessarily be the best for a functional like rock crawler or trail rig because it would probably be too long, but for people that like to do truck shows or mud truck builds, I think it would be a really cool thing because it would allow them to take their truck to the next level in terms of customizability and in terms of really just sheerly liking how their truck looks. Now, to comment on the gameplay very, very shortly here, you'll notice me try to get up this hill over and over and over and over again with the timer on, and then once I turn that timer off and I cancel the challenge, I just scoot right up the hill like it's nothing. And I just kind of wanted to touch on that for a second because I find the irony of that to be absolutely just, like, hilarious, because for whatever reason, I couldn't make it up while the timer was running, and then I cancel the timer, and then I just scoot right up the hill. So either way, I guess it happens sometimes. It's just one of those things. But let me know in the comment section below if you have any wacky stories like that from any trails on Offroad Outlaws. This map also, by the way, to give a quick shout out to the map, this is called Planet Earth. And Planet Earth is actually a very, very interesting map. It's got a really cool road network that actually winds through the mountains. It's got some mud. It's got some rock crawling sections, as you can obviously see right now. And it's got some really cool areas to meet up with your friends in multiplayer games, should you desire to do that as well. Now, since we are close to wrapping up with the end of the video, I would love to know, yet again, your thoughts in the comment section down below on where you think Offroad Outlaws is going, if you're excited about it, what you are excited about, what you're not excited about, what you would like to see, what you wouldn't like to see, any comments at all about where the direction of Offroad Outlaws is going. I would love to know your answers in the comment section down below, and I will, of course, be down there replying to you guys and having a conversation with you guys, because I really like to keep that communication open. But regardless, hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed making it, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.